Give me them pickled pig's feet.
No,
not that one.
Oregano the teeth.
Give me that one with the nail sticking out of it.
Or pickled pig strutter.
Hey there, welcome to Motorcycles and Misfits.
Hello.
Coming to you from the Recycle Garage in Soggy, Santa Cruz, California. That's right. You know what? Yeah, it's raining. It's not sunny, but that doesn't stop Misfits. We had a few people come by on bikes today.
Do you know what stops the Misfits?
Nothing
Stops the Misfits.
There was actually all sorts of crazy things that happened today, motorcycle.
Lot to cover. Hey, everyone. This is Liza. Let's get to who is joining me here in the studio. On my left, it's none other than the regal and fine.
Quite sexual. The what sexual? Quite sexual.
And I say that even though he stood me up last night.
Sexual chocolate.
It's Stumpy John.
Yeah, Liza texted me right in the middle of having dinner with my wife. Hey, do you want to have dinner?
Oh, gosh.
Nice.
Like, it's Valentine's Day.
Good timings.
Trying to get me in trouble again.
Mm.
I was going to let her come with us.
Last time I traveled on Valentine's Day with you guys, I had hell to pay, if you remember.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. AKA Chocolate Thunder.
Exactly. No, well, that's a different hell.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, gosh.
God.
On the classy girl couch, it's Miss Emma.
Hello, darlings. And I just regard myself as a bubbling cauldron of estrogen. Bubbling.
Bubbling.
Bubbling over.
Kind of like last week's podcast.
Smells a bit like sulfur.
Smells like burning rubber.
Oh, and always bringing the wit. It's Naked Jim.
Hey, peace, love, and dirt bikes. Good
That's
to be
right.
here.
Oh, dirt bikes. Again.
Huh.
Hooray.
I have to say, I cursed Jim when he came over today because I'm like, damn you. You let me borrow your dirt bike. It's not a CRF. It's a
Sierra 450.
GTR.
Sierra 450R. The other week. And boy, that bike made everything easy and made dirt fun again. And it's amazing how you get on a bike that's just lighter, more nimble, has the mousse in the tires, the really sticky, good tires. And I had fun. So I started looking for dirt bikes again. I'm like, I got to stop.
You know, in its defense, that is a very good bike.
It's a very good bike, and you pay money. You pay good money for it.
Well, not just for the bike.
Yeah.
You pay money to maintain it. The
Yeah, it's a
maintenance
good bike.
schedule on that bike is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what saved me? Fort9 on YouTube. Yesterday, they released a little review of the CF Moto 450 Ibex and took it on single track.
Yeah, I was watching some of that.
And I was like, oh, it did pretty good. I'm like, yeah, I need to give that bike more of a chance and see what it can do in the dirt first.
I mean,
but there is a big difference in your bike.
Yeah, it's a bit of a chunker compared with the CRF.
I know.
It's like when you see those guys do those really cool rides on the big bikes and you're like, oh, I think I can do that.
Yeah.
And then you're on the single track and you're like, this bike just got really heavy.
What I want is a $10,000 dirt bike for $1,500.
Okay.
I'm just going to be honest.
Yeah,
That's, it's like you realize the difference. I wanted to give an update on my CF Moto because I had a little issue with it. And it's not just me. There's been others with the same issue.
Well, you know what they're saying in the industry?
What?
CF Moto, back to zero.
No, they're not. But
Yeah,
you made
they
that
are.
up. You made that up.
I think it's fine.
So with all the reviews and my own experiences on the bike, which I really love.
Best resale market motorcycle currently in production.
Low mileage.
Yeah. So it does have that, not just my bike, but others as well, a reoccurring problem, which I find interesting. And I've encountered this once before, and I had just encountered it last week. I wanted to share the experience. So it has a thing where it'll suddenly reset the odometer back to zero. Now, in some cases, this could be good, but in general, not, and especially not for a manufacturer. I would think that this would be a big violation of some sort. Now, I'm still in the break-in period. I haven't even made it to 600 miles yet, but I keep having to add up.
At this rate, you're never going to make it to 600
I know.
miles.
I keep having to add up
Yeah.
what I think it was at when it reset, and it just reset again last week. I wasn't the one riding it when it happened, but when I got the bike back in the garage and I looked at it, said it had 18 miles on it. I'm like, crap. So
did you just happen to click through? I'm sure you did, but click through like, miles A, miles B, all the redundancy.
No, it's
kind
just
of
when I
stuff?
turned it on, I noticed it said
Yeah,
18
okay.
miles.
I
was
didn't
like,
know if it was
no.
tracking proper mileage somewhere, like in a different.
It does. It tracks your rides and how many miles it did on each ride.
Can you tell on your phone or?
Yeah.
So did your phone have your total odometer reading?
Not the total, but
So it
each
resets
one.
also. Okay.
No, it just says 49 miles, 16 miles, 1.3 miles. It just logs every one. So the first time it happened, I contacted CF Moto, and they said, make sure that you have the up-to-date software. And this is the first time I've had to do software on a motorcycle. Do you have any bikes, John, that have software on them?
Well, yeah, but the dealer has to do it.
Well, this one hooks up.
Do it myself.
That's the difference. They all have software now.
Right.
Well, I mean, yeah, if this is my first bike, I've had software like that. And I had made sure it had the most up-to-date. And I thought, okay, well, I should be good. But then it reset again. And I contacted customer service and I said, yes, this is now the second time my bike has reset. What do I do about this? And their response was, take it to a dealer and since it's under warranty, and let them fix it. Which is not simple for me.
Where's the nearest dealer?
Well, I bought it from LA 5 hours from here.
Right, I remember that.
The nearest dealer is the one in Salinas that I will not do business with.
That's right.
You too, am I right? Right. Neither of us want to do business with that.
Well, I don't
dealership.
do business with other dealers anyway.
But still, I personally have issues with how they run their business. Then the next option is Hayward or San Francisco. So I'm looking at like an hour and a half away.
Well, if you do go to Hayward, you can always hit King Egg Roll.
Yeah.
I'll meet you at King Egg Roll.
So that's not an easy thing to do.
Well, you have to drop it off, which sucks, which means you have to go back and pick it up at some point.
Exactly. Yeah. So I thought I would go check the Facebook group. I'm on a couple Facebook groups. So I just simply did a post. Hey, is anyone else having the same issue? Have they found a solution? And I had a lot of very nice people responding. There were some that are like, well, try this or try that. They're just trying to be helpful, but not really know it. But there were a few who knew. And one very specifically said, I had the same problem. They told me to go to a dealership. I went to the dealer, and the dealer's like, we have no idea what to do about this. And another one said he went to the dealer, and they had to just replace the whole head unit, and reprogram it. And that took time,
Do you happen to know if it was the same year and stuff? Like, I know they haven't been making them forever.
Yeah,
but...
it's only been out for 1 year.
Yeah,
so
okay.
yes. But then another person said, I had the same problem and I did an update, and he took a picture, and this is the version that seems to have fixed it because it was resetting at 300 miles. And I realized, I've never made it past 300 miles. And he says, yeah, I finally made it past 300, so I think I'm good. But I love that he took a photo. And so I went out, hooked up the bike to my phone, and I checked, and there was a newer version available, and it was that version. Now I've updated it. So hopefully that's taken care of it. But what I wanted to talk about was the fact that this is kind of a newer technology issue. And that for all the people I was talking to, the dealership wasn't a help and the manufacturer wasn't a help. But what was helpful was each other on this group. How often have you experienced this, Emma?
Oh, more often than you think. And in fact, I reminded you, because you'd forgotten, 3 or 4 years ago, Liza needed tyres for the Nikon.
Mm-hmm.
And your tyre selection for that bike are very, very limited because it has 16 or 15 front, 16.
Are they even on scooters or anything?
Well, we're going to come to
Okay.
that. So your tire choice is very limited because you need a very specific size, and I believe it is 16-inch. They're 120, 70, 16 on the front, and then a conventional size rear. But V-rated tires. And, Liza, I don't really like the original tires. So we went onto the forums in England, which is, I think, pretty much the number one place that bike is sold, and find out what the Brits are doing to it. We found out that the Brits are putting Michelin Pilot Road 4s on, which is a great tire, V-rated on the back or Z-rated on the back, and using scooter tires on the front, again in Michelin Pilot Road 4, and rolling the dice because they're not Z-rated, they're H-rated, which is up to 130 miles an hour. And everyone was thrilled with them. And so that's what I did. I supplied Liza with the tires. We put them on, and that bike is great. So we reached out to the community because all Yamaha are going to want to do is just, we'll put the standard Bridgestones on, which, they were not the best tires. And yes, strictly speaking, they're not correct because they're H-rated tires. And you really shouldn't be putting H-rated tires on a litre bike. But
It's an 850, not quite a liter.
Yeah, but nevertheless.
But still, big bike.
It's a big bike, fast bike. But it's worth the risk for the good tire you get.
But, I mean, we all go onto forums, I think, for this kind of stuff, right? I mean, we all spend a lot of time, whether it's, I don't know, pick your forum, I guess, and even throw YouTube videos into that, because that's also kind of the same thing. Because there's a lot of creative people out there. And
I think as a professional, you have to really make sure you have your personal guard up when you go into these things. Not just about what the information you're getting, but if any information you present has to be, you can't go onto these forums and say anything.
Yeah, well, it's also buyer beware, right? Like you watch them all and you see there's some pretty wacky ideas out there too.
Right, and back in the old days, we get our information from books. And if you had a book in print, it meant that either, number one, you had sufficient knowledge that somebody had faith in you to spend money to get your book printed, which gives you credibility. Or number two, you had sufficient financial clout to print your own book, which again gives you a certain amount of financial credibility.
Well, before computers, it was all books.
Right.
All with Haynes, what was the...
Now, when
Clymer and Haynes.
Yeah, exactly. Now the computer age took over, and anyone with an opinion can post that opinion and pass it off as fact. So you've got to be very, very careful how you tread. And as you found out, Liza, there's a lot of great information out there and very, very supportive people in these owners groups. But there's a lot of also misinformation out there, which can be very detrimental and dangerous.
Yes. But I wonder,
to you and your bike.
I wonder in CF Moto's defense, when you contacted them, did they did verify? They're like, okay, do you have the latest update? And,
no.
Oh, they didn't
even bring it up.
Because I thought somewhere in the conversation, like, do you have the latest update? Okay.
No, and I'll say I use the email thing where you email customer service.
Yeah.
No, their only response was take it to a dealer.
Well, that's probably the easy response for them. And the dealer will be like, here, update it. And they're like, okay, it works.
That's what I wanted to say. I was a little let down. And they're not the first motorcycle company whose customer service let them down. I know many others that have complaints about customer service in motorcycle manufacturers. They're just not putting the resources in anymore like they used to.
No, I think, and even the big names. I mean, I had, I was talking a few months ago about my Harley wouldn't start because the turn signal module had gone bad. So I contacted Harley Davidson. Why won't this start? Oh, because the turn signal module's gone bad. You need to take it to a dealership to get it programmed to the ECU on your bike. Okay, fine. So I took it. Not a cheap job by any stretch of the imagination. Well, guess what happened last week? Broke down again. Exactly the same problem. Exactly the same problem. Turn signal module's gone bad. So I did more research, and in the time, it might have been around before, I just didn't find it, I found an aftermarket turn signal module that dispenses with the security part.
Oh.
And so now I've got this aftermarket turn signal module, which I had to program to the bike, which was wild in itself, because you literally have the ignition on with the bike not running for like 15 minutes at a time.
Hmm.
And you turn the ignition
what were
on.
you doing? Like, what was
Well,
the
you've got it
sequence?
hooked. You've got it hooked up to a trickle charger,
Mhm.
and you switch on, and then your little red lights on the dash, and then you just leave it for, I think, 10 minutes, and then the light goes out, and then you switch off and on, and the light comes on, stays on again. You do that like 3 or 4 times,
Wow.
and then it's programmed. But I mean, your bike is like the ignition is on, and the bike's not running, and you're like, Jesus, is this going to work? And it does. It works great. And I've finally got rid of the fobs. But I mean, Harley aren't interested. They put a brand new part on the bike, supposedly, and that was 100 miles ago. They don't give a crap.
Yeah.
And I think, and before I throw Harley under the bus, I think to a certain extent, all manufacturers are like that now. I think customer service is really going by the wayside.
But the communities have had more and more opportunities. We went from forums, message boards, to now like Facebook groups and such. And they're the ones, even with like Jeep stuff, I go there, you know?
What?
But
Stop.
Yeah, just stop.
Yeah, we haven't
Just
had
stop.
Jeep talk in a while.
Yeah, just stop.
We had a good
Just
run.
stop.
It was a good run, guys.
Just stop. So, yeah, I just found that interesting. That's my one complaint with the bike. And what a weird issue to have.
I think what your value with that bike is going to be the message groups, as you found out.
Yeah.
And when it gets a little bit of age to it, the independent shops, when they've worked on a couple, then it's always going to be, I really think if you're not confident enough to work on your bike, or your bike has, thrown a conniption fit, and you're really not confident doing that particular job, find yourself an independent. Because generally independents, they bend over backwards to take care of their customers.
And
How
see
do you-
everything, right?
How do you know when you find a good independent mechanic?
Yeah, just look at the reviews. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's very easy for me to say. I was celebrating this week. I got
Say it,
100 5-star Google reviews.
Hey.
Thank you.
And how many of them did you show your tattoo to?
Every single
There
one.
it is.
Every single one. No, and I'm certainly not alone. I know a lot of smaller motorcycle shops that really work very, very hard to take care of their customers. Does every bike that leaves my shop stay fixed? No, of course not. But it's do you stand by your work? And if I work on a bike and it comes back, I would far rather default to the customer and say, okay, I'm going to cover this, even though it might not be related, because I just worked on the bike. And everyone says, that's a rare quality these days. But I don't think it is. I think it's just, kind of a little old-fashioned customer service, perhaps.
I want to go on a little side tangent and share a non-motorcycle story, but I think it kind of relates to this stuff. Do you ever watch the VinWiki YouTube channel? It's like car stories.
No.
It's guys telling stories about their supercars, and these are collectors and restorers and stuff. But I was watching one about this guy who had this cursed Dino Ferrari that he had got, and then he needed to get work on it, and he sent it to a body guy. And now he's using these guys who are no longer working for like the big shops or the dealerships, but they're kind of retired guys who take a couple projects a year. He sends it to the first body guy. He dies midway through.
Oh, no.
No.
Sends it to, has to pull the engine, sends it to a guy. He dies midway through.
Oh, no.
And he's telling this story of how it took 2.5 years to finish this project because these guys who were like older guys who do these special projects and take the time and that kept dying.
Oh no.
Which is horrible. But I mean, Emma, it's
I'm
like that.
That's not funny.
But it's that kind of shop. It's a single mechanic shop that you're referring to.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's what I'm saying.
And it's the same in the motorcycle industry. I mean, it seems that, the last few episodes I've always mourned the passing of somebody in the motorcycle industry. This week, it's no different. It's a very, very good friend of mine, a guy called Phil Radford. And Phil passed on. Phil ran Fair Spares America, which was a Norton spares shop. And Phil's been retired for many, many years. But he was very, very active in the Norton community. He was very, very active in the Filipino-American community because he married a lovely Filipino gal. And he was just a neat guy. And, everyone's getting old.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks.
I have an email to read. I know we usually read emails at the end, but this one I thought you guys would like, and also it brings up another topic. This one is from our friend Alan Willis. It says, "Hey, Misfits, just a short note from the soggy south coast of the UK. It hasn't stopped raining here for the last couple of months." Did you hear this? They've determined
no, I have not.
It has rained every day this year so far in the UK.
I'm going to look at their weather radar right
Every day.
Oh my gosh.
So he says, it hasn't stopped raining here for the last couple of months, causing widespread flooding and curtailing any two-wheeled fun.
Oh, bugger.
My spirits have been lifted this morning when your message dropped about the new T-shirt, which I have duly ordered and look forward to parading around in the summer.
Yay!
Thanks for your ongoing excellent podcast. Love to you all, except Knock. Fuck that dude.
Still.
Yeah.
Oh my
Still,
God.
I know.
Well, you could tell he's a long-term listener. Yeah, fuck knock.
Which brings up the announcement. I've released the new T-shirt design. You may be asking, what? How do I get a new T-shirt?
All of a sudden, I'm like, is it like the fuck knock design, which would be quite clever?
It would be.
We'll make hats.
What would the fuck knock design look like? Would it be like
I'll be
Knock's
working on it
face
shortly.
with, like
Kind of like one of those
finger press?
videos you were playing today.
We're not going to talk about them.
We could have him like, those Asian cats that have their paw go up and down in the restaurant?
Oh, just with a
But it could
finger
be
on
a
it.
big,
Yes.
I
I like that.
Yeah.
So I was shared. What do you guys think of the new design?
Looks great.
Yeah, I like it.
I think it's fabulous. And the
Anytime
best
a motorcycle's jumping.
and the best part is Liza has actually added her own artwork to it.
So I always love to search for old vintage like photos or posters and then kind of rework them. Yes, I steal other people's. I'm just going to admit it. But I rework it and redo it. And to me, it's more like paying honor to the vintage. And in this case, it was a photo I found that is so awesome. So awesome. And I was able to turn it into a T-shirt. And if anyone is interested in ordering one of these new T-shirts or seeing what it looks like, you just have to go to Patreon and become a subscriber at $5 or more a month. That's it.
That barely pays for the cost of the
I
t-shirt.
know. What you'll get is a free T-shirt with free shipping. And if you are outside of the U.S., still get a free T-shirt. It's $25 flat shipping fee anywhere in the world.
Can I donate extra large shirts that I have? I've got so many motorcycles and misfits. If you're the first 5 people to
You don't have this
subscribe.
one.
No, but I have so many misfit shirts that I just can't even wear them all. But if people want them, I'll give them away.
You just wear that same one with a hole in it.
I'm gonna make new sweatshirts. It'll be good. Oh, and I think I got that one from Bagel. Anyway,
So anyway, yeah. You can go to motorcyclesandmisfits.com and you can go to store. You can actually order one if you want. They're not going to be shipping until April. But if you don't want to become a subscriber, you can get in on the pre-order and check out the new design. I think it's pretty cool. So yeah, new T-shirts. Also, our rally is coming up. April 16th to 19th.
It's about time.
mm-hmm.
And I've been working with Matt on some of the things we're doing. Now, I'm going to share some of the things I'm working on, but I do want to be clear. These aren't locked in yet, but I want to gauge the interest in this. So, I have a great massage therapist who does Trigger Point. I'm trying to get him to come out and do massage one day.
Oh, yeah.
Great idea.
Yes.
Great idea. Yep.
A day of dirt biking.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then a massage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Answer is always yes to a massage.
I'm like,
that's brilliant.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, have because you see where people sit in those funky chairs, and they work your back. Yeah. I'm ready to call him up right now.
Now we're going to, he's a mobile guy. I have my own massage table here. What?
Happy ending?
Jim's happy to do that.
Well, Emma, I haven't assigned you any roles yet, so I was going to ask you if you would handle that.
It's self-served happy endings.
So
I'll do that.
So the other thing I'm working on, and again, this is not locked in, but have you seen the new Zero dirt bikes?
Yes.
What if I told you we might be getting some of those to test ride at Hollister Hills?
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they look wicked. I've seen them over. I don't know where you're getting them, but I've seen them at Santa Clara Cycle has a nice little stable of them. Yeah.
So that was the latest thing they did, and we haven't really talked with Zero in a while, but they came out with dirt bikes. That was how they started. A lot of people don't realize. The first bike they ever came out with was a dirt bike because you don't have to meet all of the DOT stuff for a dirt bike. And it was answering the whole thing about, at the time, we had a lot of red sticker, green sticker stuff because of noise, because of sparks, and it answered that problem. So they've kind of gone back to their roots and have created these little electric bikes. They're not like an Alta or a Stark. Right. They're more like a Suron, I would say.
Yeah, a little more in that vein. Yeah.
Yeah. But just fun.
Oh, they look crazy fun. Mm-hmm. I haven't ridden one yet, but that would be a hoot. Well, I like it. Massage, cool electric bikes.
So yes, that looks like, that's what I'm trying to put together. Those are two things. Johnny, what are you doing at the rally this year?
I'm riding my dirt bike.
Okay. Jim, what are you doing this year?
Riding my dirt bike.
Are you doing the challenge course?
No, I'd be happy to let someone else do that. Well, I mean, last year, I rented a car, a box van, and I, brought all the stuff and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. It's just, I just want to hang out, ride, have a good time.
Exactly.
Emma, what are you doing this year?
Giving a lot of happy endings, apparently.
Okay.
To yourself. Self-inflicted.
Tire clinic again?
It'll be fun, though. I mean, hopefully I can make it. I might have to be helping people move. You never know.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Kids might be relocating. So
oh,
they need
right.
a hand, which is kind of cool. But
so if you would like to join us for the rally, because it's the thing I love about the rally is we get a lot of we're getting the regulars to come back every year, but then we also get these people who sign up who I just saw Adventure Rally, didn't know nothing about it, from all different states who show up.
Is that how we
have a lot of fun?
Hector?
I think so. Yeah.
Hector that way.
I think so.
Up and it really is a cool ride. And I'm torn because it would be nice to bring the Tenere out there because the dual sport riding is great. Because you can ride just in the park. You can take your adventure bike through the park. But then if you bop out, there's really beautiful roads. And it's raining now, right? We got some wet weather. And that whole San Benito corridor south is just
gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Yep.
In the springtime. I remember, was it 2 years ago, whatever, there were wildflowers everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the scenery, if you're doing a dual sport ride to New Idria or something like that, would be just, it'll be gorgeous. It's a cool trip.
And the dirt's always good in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
So come and join us. You can find out more about that. Go back to motorcyclesandmisfits.com. I actually put a banner at the top to make it easy to find. Or you can go to the events section.
Jawbone Canyon. You want to talk about?
Yeah. I know that we're going to Jawbone Canyon the end of this month. So I think it's the February 26th, 7th, 8th, and March 1st.
Right.
So that weekend, I think we've got, 4 or 5 people lined up. Me, John, Josh, Hector.
Maybe Craig.
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
Craig, have him come out. So, and they're getting rain again, I think, down there right now. So Jawbone should
Yeah,
be,
they're getting a lot this week.
yeah, it should be pretty nutty. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
How do people let us know if they want to be part of it?
Email Liza and she'll pass it on to me, or hit me up on my Instagram.
Perfect.
Yeah, motorcyclesandmisfits@gmail.com.
Okay. I got dates to share. Once again, I'm promoting the Dolomites trip. We're doing 2 this year.
Mm.
And I'm going to give out the dates right now. I am absolutely, definitely, for sure going on both of these. There may be a third, but I'm going to give out the 2 that I'm definitely going on right now. Dolomites, this is the signature tour. This is our most popular tour. It's a wonderful week. I'm going to blow your mind. I really will. And I promise that.
Sounds like a happy ending in there
It
somewhere.
It's a happy beginning, happy during, and a happy ending. That is from July the 12th to July the 18th. July the 12th to July the 18th. The second big one we're doing this year is the Pyrenees. And I mentioned this briefly last week, but my brain was not working very well. I had a very tiring week, and my brain had a stroke. So the Pyrenees is the mountain range.
Is that where the dogs come from?
Yes.
Oh, I like that.
It is the mountain range that borders Spain and France. I know it very, very well. It's the most beautiful neck of the woods. September the 27th to October the 3rd.
So the problem is both of those dates are when I am going to be out of not out of the state. So you're going to have to be here.
Well, boo-hoo. Somebody else will be running the show. So, once again, think about it. The hallmark of these trips I put together with Kat, these are affordable trips. If you can afford a used motorcycle, you can afford to go on one of my trips.
Do you have Hassenpfeffer?
Yeah, we have Hassenpfeffer. We have everything. We have.
What was your steed last time? Was it the 900? BMW
Yeah,
900?
I mean, I've got to be
GS?
honest with you. The last trip I went on, I had this 1300 GS, which was nice. It was a squatty bike. But my heart belongs to that 900. It is such a willing little bike.
That the GS or the XR?
No, it's the F900.
It's
the F900R, which is a sporty one, and then the F900XR, which is a bit more sit-up and beggy.
Right,
But
inline 4, right?
No, twin.
How do you like that
I thought
compared
the
to
XR was an inline 4.
V85 TT?
The V85 was a bigger bike. It was a lot bigger. It's physically bigger. It rides like an adventure bike.
That's
For Tuscany, the V85 TT is the ideal bike. I was actually on a V1000.
the Moto Guzzi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the ideal bike because it's big. It's a big rangy bike. For the Dolomites, which is very, very tight switchbacks, you need something that really handles.
Yeah, that F900R looks
And that
like a
F900R,
ripper. Almost looks like a
it
gypser.
brings home the bacon. It's punchy. I mean, it's only like 110 horsepower. It's got way less horsepower than Rufus, but the power's right there.
Yeah.
And I just lean that thing over to stupid angles, and it doesn't bite me in the ass. It's, in a lot of ways, it's the ideal bike. The only thing that puts me off it, like every BMW, number one, it is very expensive. And number two, it's very expensive to fix if you fall off it. So in a lot of ways, it's the ideal rental bike.
Well, that 900 looks great because you don't need all the wind protection of the bigger bikes, right? So you don't need a big fairing and all that.
So the details of the trips go onto the Leod Escapes, LEOD Escapes website. And as a reminder, the cost of the trip includes hotels, bike rental, breakfast at every hotel, any transfers you're going to need. It includes all of that. What it doesn't include is booze, evening meal, and your flights. Oh, and it does include a happy ending, apparently.
What? I didn't say anything.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
So thank you for your attention here.
Well, I could not be more excited to hear you're going back to the Dolomites, Emma.
Yeah.
Cheers to that.
All right. So I have another issue I wanted to kind of share and get your all's opinion. So Jim,
Yes.
you know, the TTR 125 that
Yes.
technically you own,
Your new project bike.
that I've been fixing up just because I need to make it safe and dependable for the students for the dirt bike class.
It was due for a good going through.
Yeah, and I've been doing that. And it's had a carb leak from the overflow. So like Wendy had pulled the float needle seat out, put a new O-ring in. It still leaked. I came and I adjusted the float height. It still leaked. And then Wendy last week crashed it. Took it down a ditch,
hillside.
down a hillside, and it was just puking out. So I was like, I think it's time to replace this float needle. So this little carburetor, I pull it out and I go to look up buying a new float needle. So for those who don't know, that's basically the part that the gas that comes from your gas tank goes down through the float needle, and then you have the float that rises up in the bowl with the gas and pushes that needle up into the seat and cuts it off, just the same as a toilet valve works, right?
Right.
Same thing. So I was like, well, how much could it be? And I know I hear in my head, Emma's always saying, buy the good stuff, right? So I'm looking at Yamaha, parts fiche, and I find that part for the seat and this little jet.
Thinking this is likely a popular carburetor.
Yeah.
I would imagine they
TTR?
made a few of them.
Yes and no.
Oh.
So I look up that part and it's $30 for just that one part. That little thing.
Tiny little thing.
I'm like, well, let's see if there's alternatives. So I go to Amazon and I find $30 for an entire carb set. It comes with cables. It comes with everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, So I buy an entire carburetor from China, or for the same price, just this one little piece. So then I look at carb rebuild kits. Now they're like $50 to $80 for all the bits and pieces.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I'm like, that's a lot of money for this little single
seems like a lot of money
carb,
for a carb
right?
kit, yeah.
So then I go back to Amazon and I look at, I find a carb kit that comes with just the seat and the float needle and some different O-rings. That's it. None of the jets or anything. And it's $10. So I'm like, sure, why not? $10.
Well, I mean, the good thing about Amazon is you can just literally take it down to the store and give it to them and they'll take it back.
Yeah, and I'm like,
it's only
well,
$10.
I don't know that I can trust an entire Chinese carburetor, but this one little kit with O-rings and this little seat and float needle. And so I take the carb out, take it all apart. I kind of have to destroy the seat to get it out. And then I go to put the new one in. Wah, wah. Wrong size. Ooh. Joining us. It's Bagel.
Bagel.
Hello.
Hey, Bagel.
Hi.
You're just in time because I wanted to get your input on this too.
What's that?
Well, you'll get to it in a sec. So yeah, I buy the $10 little kit and it's the wrong part, even though it specified the years that this bike is. I'm quite disappointed. So now I go back to search again. I'm like, do I buy the $30 entire carburetor, which, by the way, from Yamaha is $400.
Yeah, I was looking on eBay. Used ones go between $75 and about $400.
Which
or
is
new, I'm saying on eBay.
Yeah,
that's
which
the
is
price.
crazy.
Yeah.
Or do I just buy the $30 float and needle, or do I buy a whole kit for like $50? Or I go to eBay and I find new old stock float and the needle and the seat, starting around like $20, but then like with tax and everything, it comes to like $25, right? And I'm like, now new old stock. How old is it?
There's an O-ring as part of that.
And there's an O-ring. So the O-ring might be bad. Can I get a new O-ring, the right size? Maybe. So I decide, well, I'm going to go with that. So Emma, did I make the right decision?
I think so.
Because the thing that was coming up is it's so enticing when you're looking at $30 carburetor versus a $400 carburetor, a $10 kit versus a $50 kit. And I'm wondering, like, when do you just take the risk on the cheap one and see if it works?
I mean, there's a time and a place. There really is. And again,
especially what I want to say, when the bike is worth like $1,000 or something,
right.
It's like you get to this point.
And that's one of the factors. One of the factors as well are the risks you are willing to take on your own bike compared to the risks I have to take on somebody else's bike. I mean, the worst case scenario would be a bike shop putting in an inferior or a used part and charging for new. And I'm glad to say that simply doesn't happen, or not in my knowledge. It may have done in the past, but I haven't heard of behavior like that for a long time. But I've had similar conversations with my clients, and I was talking to you Liza, earlier about a situation I had with a lovely older lady who brought in a 87 Virago. Very, very nice bike. Just a very nice original Virago, original paint bike. Got a ton of miles on it, but very, very well taken care of. But the front rotors were toast because they're just worn out. And I said, look, here are your choices, and I'll help you make that choice, but ultimately it has to be your choice. Choice one, we'll source some genuine rotors. Now, Yamaha had long discontinued the rotors for that bike, long discontinued. So now we were reaching out to the part sources like CSM&L, the big parts house in Holland, or a couple of the Padgetts in England, going to have new old stock Yamaha. But, and quite rightly, they're going to charge what they want for those rotors because there's a very finite supply left.
And again, we're talking like $1,000 bike, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I said, there's choice number one. Choice number two, we can go into used land on eBay. And here's a couple of tips for anybody who's considering buying stuff off of eBay. Read the description. If the description says the pictures of the description, move on to the other seller. Read the description because that is a legally binding contract. If the description says the part in it is in as new condition, it has to be in as new condition. If it says it's in very good condition, it has to be in very good condition, and so on and so forth. Read the description. If somebody sells you a part, say a rotor, that's in very good condition, and it's worn down to the minimum, or it's cracked or warped, it's not in very good condition. Now you have ammunition to get your money back. And generally, eBay are very, very good at refunding money.
So, like Bagel, because you must encounter this all the time on old scooters.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I noticed you nodding when I was saying it. You do the same, don't you, Bagel? Read the description.
Yeah. And, for anything really on eBay, buyer beware more than ever today. There's all kinds of crap and things that people are trying to pull, which they may or may not get away with. I've caught a few sellers trying to pawn off things that were not as described, and got my money back, even though they resisted. So that was good. But there are other sellers that were able to get away with some stuff that I was really unhappy about.
Right.
But you gotta. It's best to make sure that as much as you can going in. If you can't, like, if the pictures are not very good and you can't quite see everything on there that you want to see, take that as a red flag, right? If somebody is offering something honestly, they're going to put a lot of good pictures up there and clear ones that from different angles. Those are the kind of transactions where I've had problems before, when it's a very vague listing, vague picture, but then they assert a few things that just are not true. Like the item is in new condition, right? But you get it, and it's clearly been just even if it's not been used, if it's been exposed to the elements for years, new in the box, but exposed to sunlight or something that just fades it or rusts it, that's no longer in new condition anymore. So,
well,
but we're not quite done yet.
Yeah.
So that was option 2 for my Virago lady.
Right.
And now we come to option 3. And option 3 was, okay, we can go into Chinese parts land. And not all Chinese parts are created equal. I vividly remember having a conversation with a manufacturer who was outsourcing stuff to China. And he said, look, China will make whatever you want. If you want cheap as chips, low quality stuff, they'll do that for you. If you want very, very high quality, low production stuff, they'll do that for you too.
When we were at the AIM Expo, there was no shortage of, parts like that. Machine parts, rotors, all that kind of stuff.
And you were with me when I was looking at those pipes for the Z900.
Yeah.
Weren't you? Gorgeous.
And they have the good candy.
Far better than the Kawasaki pipes.
But something like rotors, they can manufacture.
Right. And so what I said to this lady was, we'll go into the Chinese parts land, rely on my experience, and I'll pick you something that's reasonably priced. In the end, I found her a pair of rotors for like $120, and they were very good.
So how do you gauge something like, let's just use rotors as the example, like how do you know good Chinese from not so good?
You have to look very carefully about, again, it's down to the description. And if you're buying new, if you look carefully at the pictures and look at how it's made and how the finish appears.
They'll talk about maybe what kind of metal or something.
Right, and what information is given you about the part. And I was, reasonably happy. I mean, make no mistake. You cannot go wrong with genuine parts. You really can't. But that's not always an option. Not just because of cost. It might be that the part's simply not available anymore. And that TTR 125 is getting to the age now.
Yeah, it's 24 years old.
It's 24 years old on a bike that really only had a projected life of less than 5 years. Yamaha are going to say, look, we're not going to bother making stuff for this thing anymore. And so that $400 carburetor, even if you were willing to pull the trigger on it, may not be an option in a couple of years.
So there's more info, Jim. Now I'm wondering if I should have ordered the $30 carburetor, and here's why. I had Emma inspecting the carb. She found cracking all over it.
Oh, okay. So it's on its way out?
So the die casting, because that bike's not made in Japan. It's made in Brazil.
Brazil, yeah.
And the metallurgy is not up to the standard that we're used to. Funnily enough, it's a problem that die-cast model car collectors face as well, that a lot of the dinkies that were made in England had a very, very unstable mix of die-casting material, and they will literally crumble before your eyes. Brand new in the box, and they'll just crumble, and that carburetor's going that way. So, yeah, you might get a couple of years out of it.
Yeah. So,
well, I mean, I guess, again, you go through the description of it, make sure any of the orifices or whatever measurements all kind of match up, and then hope for the best.
I bought, when I busted my radiator on my DRZ in the desert a couple times ago, I called you because I looked at the Suzuki and they were like $400 for each for two of them.
Yeah.
So you're like, get the Chinese ones, which which I looked at. So I got them, installed them. They looked really good. They work really well. But the freaking line, the holes for the fairing or for the
way off.
They don't match. So I had to zip tie them on.
Right now, I've got a DRZ 400 in my shop, which has got a Chinese alternator and reg fitted by me. Because the guy the owner simply couldn't commit to spending, I think, $1,600
on a $2,000 bike.
Yeah.
The prices are so cheap, you know. Yeah,
I know it's tempting.
We'll see how it goes. You know, it's interesting. When I used to have a Corvair, like 25 years ago, there was a company I ordered parts from, because you can't just go buy Corvair parts. And I looked them up. They're still around. Shout out to Clark's Corvair parts. But what was cool, if you were looking for something like a new headlight bezel, right? And maybe, Emma, I don't know if you experienced this in the Buick, but you could go to Clark's and they would have listed if they had new old stock, which would be expensive, new repop, or used good condition. And they would oftentimes have 3 different versions listed in their catalog as an option.
Yeah. And for the Packard, it's the 2 big players are Canter, and Canter do all makes. But Max Merit, and Max Merit is Packard only, and there's 1, 2, 3. Genuine, repop, good used, or poor used. You know, if they've got a shabby
available,
it's just what we've got. It's going to need refurbishing, but it's that or nothing, and it's all clearly because it's a very reputable seller.
Because a lot of people don't want the repop, right? Especially if you're doing a complete rest.
Well, you know, for me, a repop's fine outside.
But you're a daily driver.
But when I was rebuilding the engine on it, I'm not going to put repop.
No,
the valves and the guides were genuine. Because I don't want to monkey around with that stuff. I want to put them in. I don't want to pull that straight 8-cylinder head off again. That's a once in a lifetime.
Look like a metal tombstone.
Yeah, that would be my tombstone if I had to remove it again. So, you know, if you're going inside, genuine. But yeah, that's got plenty of repop stuff on it.
You know, and now I'm thinking too, because like that $30 carburetor also came with cables and everything. And as we were fitting parts on today, you noticed that the choke cable is broken. The plastic is broken. I'm like, gosh.
Let's get down to brass tacks, Liza. Do you think the gym ripped you off? You do, don't you?
Well, I haven't gotten paid, so.
No, I haven't paid him. I am
it's the equivalent of peeing in the airbox right there.
Here's what I'm looking at. I'm making the bike safe to use it for now, and then looking to sell it and pay him out of that. So, but here's the next thing. The rear shock is pretty much blown out. It just bounces like a what do you call it? Playground ride.
Probably has nothing to do with whoever shot off the side of the mountain when you guys were riding.
So
last
I
time.
had the same problem with the DRZ. I took it over to Click Suspension here, and they just recharged the CO2 in it and fixed it for a couple $100. That's the way to do it.
That's a couple $100.
Barely, yeah. I resprung it too, so it was like $300 resprung.
That's another $300 to spend.
Which, yeah, I'm like,
gotta have a shock. Gotta have a shock.
Well, that's the thing. It's not even a bike that I ride. It's just for this class once a month, you know? So that's why I'm trying to figure out how to cheaply fix everything. But so far, a lot of things like putting new handlebars on, I was able to get from the garage. I put new levers on. Like, I've been just going through to make it safe.
You know that,
but it is adding up.
I'm sure there's a Chinesian shock out there somewhere.
Now, you know that bike has been immortalized in a painting. There is a painting in Jim's house of Seamus.
That's right.
All right.
Nosediving that bike.
Right.
That's right, yeah.
So what do you think about the shocks, getting a cheap shock?
Well, I mean, Jason is the obvious, JPM suspension.
No M, just
JP suspension.
close enough.
Yeah, well.
Jason.
JPH, yes.
JPH. That's right. That's the obvious one. I mean, buying a shock. Here's the thing. Shocks are really expensive.
Yes, they are.
Really expensive. Monoshocks.
Yeah.
And people, I bought it cheap. It just needs a rear shock putting on. Well, guess what, Buster?
Mm-hmm.
A cheap shock, $500. Cheap.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yes. Cheap.
I think I've got one in the garage from someone's old SV650. Maybe I'll throw that on.
Yeah, well, so if you got one. But I mean, if you're buying new shocks, cheap shock, YSS made in Thailand, $500. OEM, $1,000. Olin's begins with the letter O. So does, oh shit, that's expensive. $1,600.
So your advice is if you're going to buy the Chinese, buy the more expensive Chinese.
Well, just kind of look through, and it's hard. Like when you are looking at DRZ alternators, it's very hard to tell the difference between the $20 one and the $100 one. The only way you're assured of quality is if you buy the genuine one, which is $700.
Mm. Well, let me tell you something. I think I uncovered a racket during my research.
Tell me more.
All right. So I said I started by going to look at the Yamaha part and getting the Yamaha part number. Then I use that to search on eBay and find new, old, that kind of stuff. And again, I can order from a Yamaha dealer for, $40. But they were selling them on eBay from $30 to $60. I'm like, what? But when I plugged in that Yamaha part number to Amazon, one result came up for $100. $100 for this little needle jet and a seat. And I was thinking, I wonder if there are people who are going on Amazon and looking if there's no one selling that part. They'll just list it and be the only one in hopes that somebody's not looking around. And then they go, well, I need it. It's the only one. And pay $100 for this stupid little thing.
Well, it is the free market, so
I know.
guess
It is an opportunity that someone might take.
Yeah.
Such
What
a
else
point
is
every
missing?
minute.
We're missing out on this racket.
Ball bearings. I don't know.
The desperation racket.
Happy endings.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, yeah.
So what are you going to do? Are you going to buy the Chinese carb?
Well, I have the new old stock coming in,
Okay.
which I'll put in and use for now.
Because the other rebuild kit, if you just wanted to say, all right, I'm going to pony up, All Balls had one for like $45, $50. I know All Balls is good at some things and not others.
Except those don't come with a new carburetor since it's got spiderweb cracking on it and a new choke cable.
Carb, that's right. I forgot about
They're just all the jets and everything, which are fine.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, ooh.
And how much is a new one again?
$400.
So you could buy 10, 12 of them for the Chinese
the
one.
eBay ones, I guess you'd have to look at it. They start at $75 for a used one on eBay, but if it has the same issues,
right?
But if they use the same carb, I don't know how long they made that bike for, but you can find one in better condition for $100. I don't know. I don't know what the right option is.
Yeah.
Get the Chinese one.
Stop messing with it. Get it running and sell it.
So
that was the plan.
We will see.
Is it also possible that the cracks in the carburetor are from it being over tightened at one point?
No, they're just, it's an unstable die-cast mixture.
And I guess it's at a catastrophic point where you're not going to get 2 or 3 more years out of it.
Well, like she said, it was only meant to be for 5 years, so you're at 24.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
it did pretty good.
Or maybe some of them had a better mix than others too, possibly.
Yeah, it might be.
It was inconsistent.
It might be, but I've seen it many times before in a die cast. Like I say, vintage dinky toys were notorious for it and still are.
I wonder if any of those are dinky over by you. That was my dad's die-cast collection. Yeah.
Could be.
I know. There's a bunch there. Just real quick, little update. Bagel hasn't heard this. We have good news, bad news. The good news is Charley bought a brand new bike.
Sucker.
I saw that.
Yes. Nice brand new bike.
Nice.
Well
this
done.
is a Husky 501 dirt bike.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Still sport. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's been wanting a lighter weight dirt bike because he's been using his Super Tenere for doing the desert
doing
rides
the hard
and stuff.
enduro on
Hard
his
enduro, like
Super
crazy.
Tenere, yeah.
So we got a legit, like a good bike. The bad news is Charley crashed today.
How did I know that's what happened?
He bought the bike, yesterday?
Yeah.
How's the
Yes.
bike?
And
Now,
he crashed it today.
we're not going to do a crash report. It was very easily done. Charley is okay. He
That's
came
good.
down the garage. He is on crutches. He kind of messed
Oh.
up his knee a little bit.
It was a low
dear.
side. Just a low side.
It was a low speed, low side, but very, very easily done. And we'll get Charley to give a crash report in the next couple of weeks.
No. I don't know that he's coming in soon. Here's the thing. New tires, wet road, white paint.
Well, and not just a wet road.
Dirt
I
bike.
should point out, we haven't had rain here in California for a long, long time. Weeks.
That's not true.
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
That's not true. We had it earlier this week.
Well, yeah,
Tuesday and Wednesday.
we didn't in Marina.
We did here.
Not much, though.
Not enough to get that grease out of the road, because when you have a period of dry weather, a long period of dry weather, all the grease and the oil from the cars gets soaked into the tarmac,
Yeah.
and then it comes up during the first rain. It becomes very, very slick, and I think that's what did him in.
Well, yeah, no.
All the things. And a
it's-
torquey dirt bike.
It's white paint,
Yeah.
new tires.
Number of things.
But
yeah.
the
We're
good
glad
news,
he's okay. Charlie,
good
glad
news
you're okay,
is-
my man.
Charley wears all the gear all the time. And he even had
Good.
like the hard exterior leg
The knee guards.
the knee and shin
Okay.
guards. And he races on the track.
Yeah.
Like he's been down harder than that. But just this one little thing, like a little whoop,
Yeah.
not going very fast, boom,
Yeah.
and hit his knee just the right way and wrenched his knee.
Pavement. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the good news is, as I said, well, at least it's a dirt bike. Now the pressure's off of trying to keep it pristine.
Yeah.
Because the dirt bike survived fine.
Yeah,
It's
bike's
got,
fine. Yeah.
you know,
We love
It's
dirt
meant for
bikes.
that.
rashes on it, stuff like that.
Just so, then he told us when he was hanging out chatting about this, where he twisted his ankle, we thought, down at King of the Motos, he actually fractured it.
You guys broke him.
No, Charlie needs no help. He gets himself into his own
Yeah.
trouble, and he gets himself out of it. But yeah, that was a tough kind of 1-2 there. So anyway, get well soon.
I wanted to ask you all a question. In honor of Valentine's Day, which was yesterday, I wanted to ask each of you which bike that you've ever owned was the love of your life.
Hmm.
Now, Jim, you've had quite a few bikes, but it's not like a huge list.
What are you trying to say?
Not like Emma and I, who are like, I'm not sure I can
Emma's a-
remember everybody.
And you guys are bike
Emma?
hoes.
Is there a bike from your past that you think of fondly as that was the love of your life?
Well, I'm lucky. I mean, the true love of my life I'm riding right now. But when I look back at my time on motorcycles, I've always had this fondness for Suzukis. I've always been a Suzuki girl. I've had them all.
Mhm.
I've had a GT 380, a 550. God, I love that 550. GT 750. I've had a GS 750, a GS 850, GS 1000, GSX 1100. God, that was a fucking amazing bike. Maybe the GSX 11.
Does this qualify
More
as a
than-
fetish?
More than Rufus?
Oh no, no!
Rufus
I
is the
will
love of your
never.
life.
I will never love another bike like Rufus. And I think it's not necessarily that Rufus is a particularly good bike. It's just a stage in my life, and the years have gone by.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've had Rufus for over a decade, and the years have just gone by, and he's always been there.
Decade?
Yeah.
Wow.
And every time I go in the garage, and this is the barometer I use. I mean, I'll look at the Superglide and be like, God dang, that is a big piece of Milwaukee iron. And it's a visually very impressive bike. There's lots of chrome, lots of shiny blue paint. It's a lovely bike. But I'll look at Rufus and I'll be like, thing is a weapon.
I'm looking around the room at all the models and going, oh, yeah, I forgot I had one of those. Oh, yeah, I had one of those.
You slut.
For me, I think, and I still refer to the SMT, the 990 SMT as my soulmate, even though, and I've never been married or in a long-term relationship, but I think I can understand well enough that you get to a point in the relationship where things are just kind of old and just comfortable. And yes, there are new, exciting, more fun things you want to flirt with and try that make you more excited. But I think I just feel like the SMT, even though I'm not as excited about it now, I'm like riding the Niken, like I have more fun on that. Or the 450, those are like my mistresses.
Yeah, this seems like your lover bike, your champion lover.
You know
like
what?
Shabba Ranks would say.
It comes down to either the GPZ 1100, which I've owned a few of, and I loved that bike, or the SMT. But like I wouldn't want to ride a GPZ 1100 now because it will feel heavy and not as nimble. But at the time, it was everything. What about you, Johnny?
Yeah, so
what's been the love of your life?
When I was in high school, I was running around with a group of guys who all had 750s and leader bikes and bigger bikes, and I was riding an RD 200. And I had an IT 175. I had all these, beginner bikes. So my dad had a 77 Triumph Bonneville 750 that he blew the head gasket out of. So it sat right outside the garage for a couple of years. So I finally went to him and I said, Dad, you need to give me that bike. And he's like, take it. So I took it. We had a garage similar to this garage, and took it apart, redid the head gasket, cleaned it all up, made it look really pretty, and rode the shit out of that thing. So I sold it when I went to school. But boy, if I could have that bike back, that would have been, because it just was. I remember I used to have a 45-minute lunch. I would drive to my garage, pick it up just to be able to drive it back to work, because I just wanted to be on it and wanted to be able to go look at it every once in a while. That was the love of my life.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Jim?
I'd break it up into two, and quickly, first, the passionate love of my life, where I was able to step up my game, and it was so exciting and almost killed me at the same time, was the FC1.
Yeah.
So going from a 600 cc bike to a leader bike, as I quote M all the time, is literally intoxicating. And no ABS, no traction control, super powerful and nimble. So yeah, that was the lever that I would have burned up the world with.
Hey, you still have it.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Anyway, and then the other would be, like you're the long-term love, like your steady steed, through thick and thin. I would go with the Suzuki. I got the GSXS or whatever GT. And, and I mean, it's the same thing. It's a leader bike, tons of power. Like Emma, the stance of the Suzukis, I think, are just really sexy, kind of that aggressive short front. And it's comfortable, and it does everything you want it to do. It just doesn't want to kill you like the crazy hot one you had before, like the FC1. So yeah.
I think we all know what Bagels is.
The Heinkel.
Do you know?
Well, yeah, you used to be Heinkel Tom.
Well, yes, but I've had a it's the longest relationship I've had with a bike.
Oh,
but it's been a tumultuous one. I think it's on better footings now than it ever has been.
Is that your longest relationship? Period.
Could be. There are a few that are longer, but not many. But anyway,
your mom doesn't count.
Right. But the Heinkel has always been special to me because it was my first bike. It's a very unique bike. It's fun to ride in its own way, But the thing is that you know me, and I love to ride, and the Heinkel, I'm afraid, is just limited in its ability to do a lot of the kind of riding I want to do.
It sounds like
So-
you're in love with someone's grandmother. This isn't one of those like intergenerational relationships, is
Man,
it?
Golden Girls were
Well,
hot.
She kind of
There's
is
a couple of movies about that.
getting up to that age, but anyway,
that would be Maud.
right.
Mhm.
But I had to think about this one because I have a lot to choose from here.
Mhm.
And my Vespa P200 is a very close contender because that's a very capable bike. That's even though it's a vintage two-stroke, once I get that bike back together, that's a bike I would ride anywhere. But it also is somewhat limited in its ability. It's a very fun bike and it's a very capable bike. But the bike that I really got the most out of riding was my original Vespa GTS 300.
Oh, really?
And
Wow.
yeah,
Because it's such a capable bike.
it is the most capable bike that I've owned, and it with the modifications that I did with the help of some friends back in the day, it was just in the perfect sweet spot for that bike. It was just like the slightest of tunes to really wake it up, and with the 300 motor, it has just gobs of torque, especially with the bigger valves on the head that I had fitted to it. So I really want to get that bike going again because I miss that a whole lot.
What color was it?
Yeah, it's white.
Or is it white?
It's the bike that's in the calendar from many years ago.
Oh,
If you
Star
remember.
Wars shoot. Yeah.
Yep, that's the bike.
Gotcha.
Cream cheese is the name, by the way,
Yeah.
because it goes so well with bagel.
Yes.
Oh, gosh. Well, I would like to know from our listeners, what's their love of their life, their Valentine motorcycle? Send that to us at motorcyclesandmisfits@gmail.com. And if you have a picture, even better. It's just funny because on the Women Riders World Relay, the WRWR app that we have, where we have challenges. And one of the challenges I put out there was send a picture of your sweetheart. It could be your partner. It could be your bike. And it's whoever you love the most. It is amazing how many people sent in not just pictures of their bike, but pictures of them kissing their bike.
Yeah,
Including this one over here.
I was wondering do you need guardrails for this photo competition or is it just wide open?
Yeah, so that's what got me realizing, like, oh yeah, there are a lot of people who feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Emma, do you have a song you'd like to share with us?
No,
What?
no,
You're not going to play a little bit of Cheese on Your Helmet?
no. I'm not going to play Pissing with a Stiffy either.
No, I just want Cheese on Your Helmet.
No.
It's a
But-
motorcycle song.
It
It
could
can
be a
be.
It
motorcycle.
could be. It's a motorcycle song.
Well,
Emma has discovered the world of AI music.
Oh my.
Now, some of these are bit
Brandy.
risque, but this one I thought this fits
Oh, my.
our theme.
oh,
It's called Cheese on Your Helmet.
well, hang on. Let me cue that
Please,
up.
no.
So,
Yeah.
there we go. That should do it. So let me, I'll cue this up. So talk amongst yourselves for a minute.
Okay. Some of the other songs she was playing not so appropriate
Oh my.
for the podcast, and which is
That's
a
pretty
lot
bad
coming
if it's
from
not-
us.
yes.
I know.
I just love the
I
fact
know.
that we're responsible. Emma's responsible for populating AI's knowledge base for risque motorcycle songs involving food.
I had no idea.
One of them, she was like, "Yo, you want to hear the song Pissing Through a Stiffy?"
Yes.
No
I think
thanks.
we've all. Well, yeah, I probably.
No thanks. But when she played Cheese on Your Helmet, I thought, oh, this is not bad. Here, put it to the microphone.
Cheese on your helmet. Cheese on your helmet. Cheese on your helmet. You got cheese on your helmet. Crusty and dry.
Oh, Christy.
Don't think about it, baby. It ain't touching my pie. You're holding your wiener. Aiming to please. But first take a wet cloth and clean off the cheese.
What does that have to do with motorcycles?
Okay, I think we got it. I think
Oh
we got
my
it.
gosh.
That's a motorcycle song, right?
Hey, ride,
So how
ride,
did-
ride,
Where
to
do
live,
you-
li- ride to live, live to eat.
Yeah, where do you go riding? Wipe the hard, crusty cheese off my helmet?
Yeah, well, you might have been going through a factory where they make dairy products and got some of it on stuck
Oh
on your
my
helmet.
goodness.
We
That's
did
a
the
riot,
cheese.
though.
Well, I think I got the benefit of the miracle of modern technology here. The Zoom call apparently filtered the entire song out as noise, so I didn't hear any of it.
Oh,
Oh no!
you may not want to Google that.
I don't think I do.
I will send it to you later, Bagel, as a message.
Please don't.
It was a
No.
catchy tune,
I
though.
don't
Now
wanna
it's stuck
hear it.
in my head.
Yeah.
I'm going to be laying awake at night. Cheese on my helmet.
It's on your helmet. I wanted to
Oh.
share. Oh, I got a new tool in the garage today, and we were playing around with it.
Steamy!
It's talking about that'll get cheese off your helmet.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? You'll get cheese off anything.
So, I saw this on a YouTube channel of somebody who restores a lot of like old dirt bikes, and he was cleaning the engine with this little steam gun. And I thought, oh, that looks interesting. It's a little like a lunchbox size receptacle where you put the water in, and then a hose and a handle. It's not very big. And I looked them up. They're like $50-$60. You can get up to like $200 for them. But I thought, sure, let's try one of the $50 ones, see how it goes. Yeah,
Like
well,
this, Liza?
a little bit, yeah, but like that. Oh, you have a steamer. Have
Yes,
you?
I do.
Have you tried it on your helmet?
I have not.
Did it get the cheese off?
I do not have cheese on
He
my
just
helmet.
leaves the
Okay.
cheese.
Yes, you
there-
do. You
if-
live in
if you-
Velveeta. Everything has cheese on it where you live.
If you have cheese on your helmet, I think there's a cream you can get for that.
So we were playing with it on the TTR, since it's up on the lift, and trying it out. Emma, what did you think?
So it's quite limited, and I think Liza's inherent cheapness did her in. So
Well, now hold on.
Well, no, just wait.
Well, just wait a second. It does more than clean engines. You can use it on grout. You can use it on
Right.
Your
fabric.
drapes.
I can use it in the car seats to clean them.
I think for what it does, it is quite good. And the technique on the bike, you have to follow quite a strict protocol, which means you get the degreaser, squirt the degreaser on the bike, agitate the degreaser,
Mhm.
not masturbate it, as I said.
As you said.
Agitate the degreaser, give it a few minutes, and then steam it off. And it comes up clean as a whistle. But it's hot, but it's not super hot. It doesn't come out with that much pressure. And the reason I mentioned
Yeah.
the cheapness, I think the $50 one is quite limited. I think the $200 one would probably be quite good.
Because, I have a pressure washer, but you don't want to use a pressure washer on a lot of parts of your motorcycle.
Well, here's what I'll say is I use a pressure washer. I have an electric one, like
Mhm.
whatever, Roby or something like that, and it's decent. But I use it on my bikes all the time. I just don't stand, a foot away from them. I'm a couple feet away. And when you're able to moderate the pressure, like we talked about this earlier, like hot pressure washers are pretty cool.
You have to be careful of electronics.
Oh yeah, you have to be careful of a lot
Yeah.
of things, but it's anyway.
So yeah, we were just playing. I'm like, sure, I'll try it
Yeah.
out. The thing too is I want something that's not going to damage anything. And what I like is it's amazing how fast it'll heat up and create this steamed vapor that comes shooting out. Is that how yours works, Bagel?
Yeah, it comes out. Yeah, it's a vapor. It's not under high pressure,
No.
but it's a kind of a low pressure stream of very hot water vapor.
And
But yeah,
it's vapor. Like it is vapor.
It has
Oh,
to.
yeah.
It has to really help. I mean, it's something really hot and wet. Like
Mhm.
say mix it with degreaser and all that kind of stuff.
yeah. I mean, it's a great way to get very hot, uh, very hot water onto a surface without using a big stream of it.
Yeah.
And I think even though it's not a high pressure flow of steam, it's enough to move stuff out of the way. And as the water builds up, it'll rinse stuff off, as it cools on the surface. And it's very effective. I
How would it
found.
work on like wheels?
No.
It would work pretty good on
We
wheels.
were
I
even
would think.
using it on the rubber.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I have to say it did the job. It'd be very time consuming to
Yeah.
do a whole bike.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a very small spot at a time.
And at the end of the day, it's still a
tedious
lot,
work,
of, lot of
but-
elbow grease.
Right.
But you can get there.
It wouldn't
I-
take rust off though, right?
I-
Like just
No,
No,
it,
surface
it,
rust.
it just takes.
It's not abrasive at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Just
remember
anything
the
that will-
first time I used a sandblaster, a media blaster, should I say, how disappointed I was because it was so slow. And people think, oh, you put a piece in and blast it and pull it out. And it's really not like that.
Mm.
You've really
Yeah.
got to work it. And
Yeah.
it reminded me very similar like that. You kind of get into a rhythm. You start at a piece and kind of work your way across. And it works, it works well. It really does work well.
I'm just recommending it's a little tool you can add to your shop if you're doing a winter resto project.
I think it's ideal for that. And if you're
Mhm.
doing a small engine and you want to get all of the crust and gack and the cheese from inside your engine away, it's probably perfect for that. For the hobbyist, it's ideal. For somebody who rebuilds engines for a living, I think you'd want a bigger one.
But also if you need like say if you're using it on an engine and you need a little bit more power than just what's coming out of the steamer, you can add a little bit of a shot from compressed air onto at the same time.
I also was told that you can put a degreaser agent in the water in the tank.
I don't know. I don't know about
Yeah.
that.
That I'd hesitate with.
Yeah.
Because what you're going to end up with is leaving a residue from
Right.
the degreaser. I like the fact that being steam, it removes the residue.
I like Vicks Vapor Rub would be really good coming out of that thing. Just take a big
And then you
Yeah.
could
Puff of
stick
that.
it
Clean
up.
an engine when you have a cold.
Oh, yeah.
No, just stick it up your nostril. with
Snort it
Vicks
right up
in
your nose.
Yes.
Yeah, but for the steamer, I think it's best to just use water and ideally distilled water in your steamer, because if you use just tap water, you're going to have a lot of mineral deposits that'll build up in there eventually. And that it's a purpose-built device that's specifically meant to vaporize water. So if you put something else in there, it's not going to vaporize at the same temperature. So it's either going to
Okay.
vaporize sooner or it's going to leave residue, and that's going to shorten its life, I would imagine.
All right.
I'll throw this out here. I've known people that have had shops and have hooked up dishwashers with hot water, and they would
Oh,
take
yeah.
parts apart and put them all in the dishwasher.
Mhm.
and it was
Dishwashers work
dedicated
great.
as a dedicated parts washer.
I just think it's cool
Yeah.
that this is a machine that really comes from household cleaning
What if you can cook
for
shrimp?
bathrooms and grills and dresses, and then people have adapted it to the garage,
Sure.
which is cool.
Steam's a powerful tool.
So for our next subject, did anyone here take a look at the new Ducati that was announced? Oh, it does say scrambler
Resounding
powered.
nope.
I told you.
Yes. It's called the Formula 73, if you want to look it up.
I have an opinion.
We'll get to that. This reminds me of, gosh, it was like over 20 years ago that they came out with the Paul Smart replica, which I thought was a cool thing. Do you remember when that happened?
No, I remember the Paul Smart very well. And what a beautiful bike it was.
That they made a new modern bike that was an homage to an old race bike. And I remember a friend of mine, he was on the waiting list for that. Like, you had to get on the wait list. And by the time that bike was available and he got the come pick up your $20,000 bike, he had lost his job the year before, was like, oh shit, and had to scramble and sell stuff to go get it.
Right.
because he had like committed to buying it.
Now, Paul Smart was a Brit, factory racer for Ducati in the early 70s. He got a win at Imola in 1973, I believe. And back then, the Ducati color scheme was silver tank and bodywork
beautiful.
with a beautiful, I suppose you'd call it almost a pastel green frame.
Yeah.
Very unusual paint scheme, but God, just beautiful. This bike is not beautiful.
No, it's really not. Well, I'm not a huge fan of the Scrambler to begin with. I know some people love them, and that's great, but it's got that vibe to it still, and I just don't love it.
I was checking on eBay to see if there's any Paul Smart replicas for sale to see what their value is, and all I found is a model that's $200 for like what I have sitting around us.
There you go.
I'm like, oh shit, that's gone up. But so, what do you guys think of the new Formula 73 Cafe Racer?
Ugly with a capital U.
Emma.
No, I'm going to say it because
Is this the one we're talking about here?
I am
Yeah.
absolutely sick and fucking tired of people cutting the tails too short
And you're going to
on
say that
these
the
bikes.
Bobby tail.
You know, Manx cats are wonderful cats and very loving, but they're not great looking cats. The cats need a tail. Motorcycles need a tail.
Mm-hmm.
And Suzuki did exactly the same thing with a Katana. They cut the tail too short and were blubbering because they couldn't sell them. Well, the thing's ugly as fuck. Of course you can't sell it.
So just to describe it,
How do you really feel, Emma?
Yeah, that's absolutely how I feel.
first off,
what if
You know, I mean, I would, knowing my history with Suzuki, I was so excited. We're bringing back the Katana, and it's basically the same
the
platform.
Katana was ugly the first time.
no?
It was the same platform as your GSXS.
Yeah.
And I saw it. I saw a picture of it in the silver from a front three-quarter. I saw, oh, God, that's a great-looking bike. And then I saw it from the side. And I'm done.
Yeah. Well, this seems similar because the front, it's an interesting looking bike, the first 3/4 of it.
You look at it from the front, it looks great.
Yeah.
But I think
when you get to
that
the rear
front
wheel.
fairing, what do you describe that fairing style?
Well, it's
Reminds me of aircraft.
Vintage
almost.
MotoGP style?
yeah, kind of, but it's a front-heavy look, so I can see what they've been going for. But if you'd have put another 3 or 4 inches on the tail, it wouldn't have taken
So-
much. It would have been a genuinely pretty
It's
bike.
just a single seat with a little bump stop and then a cowl over it.
Almost like the
So
Scrambler.
it is short. The entire, like the tail light is sitting even with the rear axle.
Right. It's an embarrassment.
Um,
I would be embarrassed to put an Italian name on that.
I'm going to tell you something, Emma. I like these retro nods, new bikes that are retro nods.
I do as well.
I
But
like them,
that
even
is
if.
a badly styled bike.
So I support it.
I mean,
in that.
compared to the 400 Thruston that Triumph just did, which is gorgeous.
You see, Triumph know how to fucking style a
Yeah.
bike. It's a beautiful bike. That is an ugly bike, and I will fight anyone who tells me it's not.
She will fight you in the street.
I will take off one of my stilettos and I will fight you with it. It's not a good-looking bike.
I'll throw this out as a decent looking retro is the Kawasaki Z900.
Of course.
Like with that Carmel
Yep.
gas tank.
Right.
Fun
And with a
inline four.
long tail on
Yeah,
it.
with a long
It's
tail.
a complete styled bike.
Well, the W800 is a great retro bike, too.
Mhm.
I would put money, the same clown who penned the Katana penned that thing. I would put money on it. It's probably some shitty design house somewhere. And you've got some guy who thinks he knows everything about bikes drawing this on the back of a
Okay.
napkin.
All right.
And he sold it to Suzuki and he's just sold it to Ducati.
Calm down, Emma. So this bike is a nod to the 1970s 750
That's
Super
sexy,
Sport
though.
Desmo.
That is a
That's sexy.
beautiful bike. Look how lovely and long the tail is.
Well, that's because that is a street legal bike. So they had to extend it to have that rear
So's the other one.
fender.
So's the other one.
Yeah, but this is what was required at the time to.
Yes, but look at the race version
Meet the
without the rear
DOT.
fender. It's got a lovely long tail on it.
Interesting. So if only they'd made that tail longer. But
That's all it would have taken. I don't think it's an earth-shatteringly good-looking bike from any angle, but it's so clear that the tail is too short. Way too short.
okay, but now
Well, what say you, Bagel? You know a thing or two about styling.
Yeah. Well, the thing that jumps out to me is, I mean, the seat seems the seating position seems very high, because I imagine cafe racers as having a lowered seat, right? And to keep the rider
Oh.
down so you can tuck in.
maybe because
this
it's
is
built
not-
on the scrambler.
Yeah, maybe, but it seems like it sits very high, like the top of the
Mm.
tank, if that is even a tank. And the fairing stretches really far forward, which seems a little out of place with the short rear end.
Right, it's kind of a very full, and I understand the concept of what they're doing. They're trying to make it visually exciting, but it's gone kind of too far. Now,
Yeah, it's like they pulled the tappy too far.
Compare it with the Pull Smart replica, Liza. So get yourself a picture of the Pull Smart
Oh
replica
yeah, I've looked at them.
and compare the two. And the Pull Smart replica had some questionable styling. Both that and the 1000 GT both kind of looked like they'd been kicked up the butt. They were very high in the rear, but they were actually quite well-styled bikes. There is nothing redeeming about the styling of that bike. And I want to make it clear, I'm not saying it's a bad bike. It might be a very good bike indeed. But the problem is, if you're going to put your name to something as an homage to a genuinely race-winning bike with provenance.
Is that the one?
Yeah, look at that.
Oh yeah, Paul Smart replica. Yeah, great.
That is a
bike.
great-looking bike.
Love the fairing.
Yeah, it's just,
Okay.
it's well proportioned. If you're going to put your name to something like a Formula 73, they're nodding back to the race days of Paul Smart on the Imola in 1973. And the colours, you better make it good looking, and it simply ain't. Sorry.
All right, Emma, are you calmed down now?
No!
All right, listen.
There's no reasoning
Because
with me.
I wanted to talk about the original bike, a little bit about the original bike.
Okay.
The 750 Super Sport Desmo.
Right.
So tell us about Desmo.
So Desmo is a shortened version of Desmodromic valve train. And Desmodromic valve train was really a solution to primitive metallurgy
Mm-hmm.
in the early 1950s.
So we're talking like 73, 70.
No, we're going way back. We're going back to
Desmodromic? When did that?
early 50s.
Oh, the Desmo. Really? Okay.
So Mercedes had this rather nice engine, straight six, and they worked with Bosch and got a very, very effective fuel injection system that was capable of making good power. And they had their sights on winning Le Mans. The big problem is this was an engine that liked to rev and rev high, and that's where all the power was. And on a long circuit like Le Mans, especially on the Mulsanne Straight, you could really get those revs up. And Mercedes were having big problems with valve springs failing.
Floating or failing?
Both.
Yeah.
If you made them out of a certain springiness, out of certain toughness, they'd float.
Mm-hmm.
Any harder, any tougher, and they'd break. So they needed to come up with a system. So what they did was they worked with a number of manufacturers, and they came up with Desmodromic valve gear. And what Desmodromic valve gear does, it dispenses with the valve spring. It has an arm which works on the camshaft.
So And just to cover, because on normal systems, you're going to have a cam and a lobe,
Or a push
a
rod.
push rod or whatever that's going to push the valve open
and
and
then
rely on a spring to snap it shut,
to snap it shut.
which is relying on that spring's
Right.
power.
Exactly.
Okay.
And some bikes have a single spring, some bikes have dual springs. Often you'll find the springs are progressive in that there's very loose windings going to very tight windings, but they rely on springs. And although there are springs in Desmodromic, it doesn't have anything to do with closing the valve. The valve is opened by a cam, and then a horseshoe-shaped collar, which acts on a ridge in the valve, forcibly closes it.
Yeah.
And by physically opening the valve and physically closing the valve,
So there's two on the camshaft. There's one cam for each one of
Right.
these.
and they oppose
Arms.
one
Like
another.
two lobes. Yeah.
Yeah.
One to open and one to close.
Right.
Mhm.
And then you multiply that by the amount of valves per cylinder head, and then the amount of cylinders in an engine. So if we take a Desmodromic V-twin with a 4-valve head, you got a lot of cam lobes going on in there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
16, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the advantage, strictly speaking, there are no limits to how high you can rev this engine.
How's that camshaft made?
Yeah, like every other camshaft.
Okay.
Yeah, like every other camshaft.
Do you know how every other camshaft is made?
Magic. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's magic metal, but there's nothing special. I mean, a camshaft is basically a forged piece of metal.
So it's
good
one
enough.
piece.
It's
a
one
machined or
piece,
forged
Yeah.
And then they just cut these egg-shaped lobes.
Gotcha.
And the lobes themselves, the shapes are very, very special.
Mhm.
Their job is to open and close the valves, but they're to open and close the valves as efficiently as possible at a very specific time, but not to have such a sharp cutoff that the valves clatter, because nobody wants to hear clattery valves. So oftentimes you'll have what's called quietening ramps on a camshaft, which allows the valve, instead of snapping shut, you get a
Right.
clack.
Yeah, 'cause so it would just fall off the lobe
Right,
if
exactly.
you don't do something
clack.
like that. Yeah.
You
Clacky
just get a
clack.
quietening ramp, which
Mm.
just gives it a millisecond. And obviously, things are moving very, very fast. So basically, to précis Desmodromic valves down into one sentence, it's mechanically opened, it's mechanically closed. Now, here's where we get into the interesting part. In the 1950s, this was absolutely state-of-the-art technology. And Mercedes, ironically, never had a chance, because they still hold the patent on it. Mercedes never had a chance to fully develop it to its maximum racing potential. And it was still in development in 1955. 1955 at Le Mans saw the worst motor racing accident in history and caused Mercedes to pull out of motor racing effectively for the remainder of their lives. They have come back since, but they were away from motor racing for 40 years because of the accident at Le Mans. So really, fate stepped in. But now we come to Ducati and their relationship with Desmodromic valves. Now, Ducati in the 1960s had some very, very punchy single-cylinder bikes, which were very high performance for their size and benefited from a couple of very, very notable mechanical features. They were overhead cam and they were driven by bevel gears, which basically means as the crank turned, it had a gear that turned rotating movement through 90 degrees into a shaft, which went up the side of the cylinder and then rotated through 90 degrees again and turned the camshaft.
Did one of the British bikes, BSAs, do that too?
Oh, yeah, few of them did.
Yeah.
Few of them did.
Wow.
Very clever technology. And it also had Desmodromic valves. Why? Because it was a high-revving little number. And Ducati saw it as a means of, number one, proving that they were great engineers and their bikes were high-performance bikes. But secondly, they were tough. Now, Ducati became synonymous with Desmodromic valve gear. And so when the V-twins came out in the early, I think, 70 or 71, it was natural that they kept the bevel gear, and in the Super Sport at least, Desmodromic valve gear, because it became a hallmark of Ducati. So now, here we are in 2026. Valve spring technology has improved so much that you can reliably have normal valve springs that you can riff to 18,000, 19,000, 20,000 reliably. So Desmodromic valve gear really has become obsolete. But it's become so synonymous with Ducati, they do keep it around.
Interesting.
I'm kind of
the downside. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead, John.
The downside is
Just complexity.
all the shims you got to do when you adjust them. And
When you shim a duck, it's expensive because there's a lot of shims, there's a lot of specialty shims. The opening shims on a duck, if you look at the shims for a normal Japanese bike, they look basically like little round pieces of metal. They're very, very simple. The opening shims for a duck is a little round piece of metal, and if you flip it upside down, there's an indent underneath, which is the same size as the valve stem itself. Kind of like those peppermints that you have in that tin.
That's what I'm picturing, yeah. Little Trader
The
Joe's.
closing shim is like a little ring, and it's held in. You drop it away, and it's held in by clips. It's deceptively simple, but at the same time, deceptively complex. Once you know what you're doing, you can shim a duck quite quickly, but it's just a lot of extra steps, which means money. And mechanically, they are quite expensive to manufacture, but they keep them around. I'm going to talk a little bit about Kawasaki, and I'm going to go off at a tangent.
Oh, I was just going to beat you to a tangent right quick. So valve springs seem like an issue, right? And sometimes we do this little
Well, they were.
this tangent where how did aircraft manufacturers get around the springs? Did they have alternate things similar to this, or was it always
Aircraft engines rev a lot lower than you think.
okay?
Yeah.
So the demand on the valve springs
Right,
isn't
the demands on the valve springs isn't the same. High revving internal combustion engines, certainly up until the 1950s, are exclusively the province of racing, and particularly long distance endurance racing. And we can zero in even beyond long distance enduring racing to Le Mans. Because of the Mulsanne Strait. So we've zeroed in from a particular genre of racing, or should I say to racing, to a particular genre of racing, to a particular race within a genre of racing, to a particular piece of racetrack.
that drove the technology.
I cannot even begin to tell you how much the Mulsanne Strait has changed internal combustion engines over the years. It's absolutely instrumental. If the Mulsanne Strait had not existed for as long as it has, I think we would be dealing with very different engines now.
how long is that straight? How many miles?
Oh, God, now you're
Yeah, I was
asking. I
gonna
used to know
Google
it in
it,
kilometers. It's 8 miles?
Wow.
Dead straight.
Wow.
Wow.
No, I think that might be ambitious. I think certainly it might be 2.
Oh.
It's a very
Still.
long, dead straight, dead flat.
Mm.
And I mean,
3.7 miles,
3.7, so 4.
3.7.
Yeah.
Wow.
6 kilometers.
So they're topping out completely every race bike and car.
Back in the 1970s, early 1970s, Porsche came out with a long-tail 917s. They were reaching 250 on the
geez.
Mulsanne Straight.
That's what 250. Then for safety reasons,
They stopped them because the fucking things were taking off.
oh my, like leaving the ground.
They were leaving the ground.
Yeah.
These race cars. But
So they threw in a couple of
917,
chicanes.
Wow.
the 917 long-tails, 250 miles an hour. And this is in a 24-hour race.
Wow.
So,
In the dark.
oh yeah.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And actually, a lot of the veteran drivers preferred driving in the dark because it was far easier to see where your opponents was because you'd see the lights.
Mhm.
You know, when I was younger, I
Back in the day.
back in the day, I always used to prefer driving at night.
Mm.
It's far easier, especially if you're driving big, fast vehicles like Greyhound buses. It's far better driving at night because you can see everything. Unless you get some clown driving around without his lights on. You know, you look for the shadows and you look for the light cues. And so it was with Le Mans. Because remember, in Le Mans, it's such a unique race and the way the classes were. You have everyone's out on the track. And so you've got a 250 mile an hour Porsche Longtail on the track at the same time as a 600cc Panhard flat twin, which is flat out at 80. And everyone's on the track at the same time. And the Panhard is looking for exactly the same racing line that you are in your 250 mile
These are
an hour
some
Porsche.
pretty dynamic cars. This
That's
is
a long tail.
Yeah, 19. Is that what that is? Yeah. 1970s.
Interesting.
So anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about Kawasaki, and this is relevant. And Liza's going short, and it is going to be relevant. Back in the early 80s, Kawasaki approached their dealers and said, "We're done with lime green. We're done with it. We want to move on. We're a modern company now. Lime green belongs in the past. We want to look forward." And once you understand how the Japanese manufacturer's mindset works, you understand it completely. To a certain extent, they look back for our benefit. Generally, Honda, Kawasaki, Yamaha, Suzuki are looking forward. We're not interested in what we've done. We're interested in what we can do. And Kawasaki wanted to drop lime green. American Kawasaki dealers kicked up such a stink.
I'm looking around the room and you can quickly see the lime
right.
green bikes.
Because it's such a signature part of Kawasaki's. They said and convinced Kawasaki executives, if you drop lime green, you will lose 30 to 40% of your sales. And so Kawasaki kept it. And so it is with Ducati and Desmodromic. Ducati have made their business in the last 50 years selling bikes with Desmo on the side.
Now, are the big V4s?
Yeah, they're
are
going
they
back
Desmo?
to valve springs now.
They're at Valve Springs, yeah.
Yeah,
I
they're
thought
at
so.
valve springs. Just for complexity. And they're weaning people off. And Ducati have been very smart about this. They've taken basically their flagship bike and they said, we're going back to valve springs. And if we can do it on the flagship bike, guess what? You're going to enjoy it on all our other bikes as well. So they did it smart. Aside from that frigging abortion, the 73, which I've got no time for whatsoever. So that is why in 2026, Ducati is so associated with Desmo. It's like Kawasaki green. But it's obsolete now. You really don't need it because valve spring technology is so good.
But it sounds cool.
So,
it really does.
What would the cost of ownership kind of be for like a 900 SS, like an 80s 900?
Well, that's what I used to have.
Yeah. So if you had is it crippling ownership
No,
costs?
I mean,
or is
no,
it
but it is-
manageable?
No, they've not gone.
Yeah.
Is it? I mean, so we'll use
Well,
we'll use my shop as an example. If you bring in a liter bike for a valve service, a twin cylinder, if you bring in an SV 1000 or a V-Strom 1000 for a valve service, it generally is about $1,000 for valve service. Ducks, 16.
Okay.
So it's more.
60% more.
What if?
Yeah.
And then while you're in there, what if you're doing spark plugs and filters?
Well, no, and I mean that's spark plugs, that's filters.
Okay.
The Duck obviously has belts,
Mhm.
which you're going to chuck in while you're there. But it's more to own a Ducati, just as it is more to own an Alfa Romeo than it is to own a Toyota Camry.
yeah.
But it's more, I mean, I have.
Nothing beats a Camry.
I'm telling you, runs forever.
So I am getting gestured by Liza that I've been yakking on enough.
I find it fascinating.
Thank you, Emma, for explaining
Yeah, that was
the
great.
Desmo valves. We don't have many emails. Bagel, you have one I sent you if you can get that ready. But
Yeah.
first, Emma, this is one that came from a listener.
Oh, yeah.
They've sent a bike for sale near them that they think you might want.
Oh,
Now, before I hand you this,
I
I'm
want
going
it.
to read the description.
I want it now.
Hold on to this. Don't give it to her yet. Clean, clear title.
Oh, so far so good.
Rear swing arms stretched.
Oh,
Aftermarket ECM. Ignition, polished Vance and Hines headers. NOS system. Working electric moving windshield. Scary fast, but needs tuned and tank clean from sitting. 8,400 original miles. Show her the picture. Emma, $3,500.
Ooh.
There, you can turn to the next page.
Oh, it's a katana.
What do you think? What do you think?
Oh, I think it's just lovely. Look at that. Wow.
GSX 1100 Pro.
Huh.
Let me see a stretch swing arm.
Well, so
And it's
Just-
not
yeah,
a
describe
Busa.
the bike, Emma. I can't see
so
it.
this is quite an interesting bike, and
Mm-hmm.
it's very cleverly photographed because the GSX 1100F is kind of a touring bike. It's an early 90s touring bike. They're absolutely just lovely things to ride. But this one is wearing the clothes of a Gixxer. So it's got a real sort of Gixxer look about it. I think it's absolutely super. And the stretch swing arm really just is magnificent.
You need this for your collection.
$3,500.
Stretch swing arm and a NOS system. Emma.
Well,
I
number
thought
one,
she ovulated
you're
at the
not
last
allowed.
part.
You're not allowed nitrous oxide on the street in California, and it's
No.
it's a big no-no. You get your bike impounded if they find a working NOS system. And secondly,
Don't you have one on Tubbo?
I had one on turbo,
okay.
but that's just for show. And secondly, my driveway is full of Packard right now. So
And it does say NOS on the side of it.
yeah, right, exactly. Just advertise it, why don't you?
Sure.
So,
what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, no, unfortunately, much as I would love it, and I would kill for a bike that looks that good. I really would. I mean, it's just a lovely thing. I mean, I got like 17 feet worth of Packard to deal with.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got one more email. Bagel, do you have it?
Yes.
Now,
And,
Bagel,
Yes.
you can go ahead and read it in the accent of the country being referred to.
Before,
No.
before-
No.
yeah, no, you
Come
must,
on.
you must Bagel before you
No,
start.
because he's not from there.
Well, where's he from?
Georgia.
From Colorado.
Alabama or something.
Well, he lives in
Hey.
Georgia. Yeah.
Oh, he's in
but
Georgia, okay.
well, no, he picked up the accent because he's been
Yeah.
living there so long.
No, he hasn't.
Liza, can I have a Ricola, please?
No.
I want one. I've got a nasty cough.
So, John, you said he's from Georgia. Is that the case?
He was, well,
Yeah.
he did move and work in Georgia.
This is from our friend Puppy.
Yeah, he was in
Yes.
Pakistan. with
Oh,
me.
puppy!
This is
Puppy.
Puppy.
Yeah.
Hello, puppy!
All right. Well, I'm not sure where he lives right now, so I'm just going to go for it.
Yeah,
Puppy
he
writes-
was in Georgia.
But he's not
He
from
says-
Georgia.
Okay. Well, he writes, the subject is meeting Puppy in Ireland for a drink. He writes, "Hi, Misfits.
Hey.
Puppy here. I was listening to one of the latest podcasts mentioning where Liza would be in Ireland around the start of the Isle of Man. Coincidentally, myself and my very lovely partner, whom Emma met in Germany, will be in Dublin the evening of June 1st. If any of you cheeky buggers will be in that country and would like to pop into a pub for a pint or a bite to eat. We are planning to rent a motorcycle and tour the country for a little over a week.
Nice.
So we'll be jetting off the next morning, but we'll be back in the town the evening of the 9th if that works better. If neither work, that's okay, but I figured I would shoot an email over just in case. In more personal news, I am the proud owner of a Tenere 700.
Yeah.
Good man.
I liked the
Did- wait.
KLR I bought.
Didn't he wheelie your KLR, John?
He wheelied it,
Yeah.
yes.
He said,
I should point out that Puppy was the first to figure out how to wheelie the BMWs on
Okay,
the
yeah.
Dolomite Strip.
nice. He says, I liked the KLR I bought previously, but the Tenere just does everything better, including draining
Lord,
my
in here.
wallet because it chugs gas the way I ride it. I have attached a picture so you all can get a peek, and the other picture is on a road in Mexico, wink, wink. Anyway, love y'all and hope Santa Cruz isn't getting worse riding weather than Denver, 60s and sunny in February. Buck knock. Puppy.
Both of them. Hey, thanks, Puppy. You remember? Because you went on Dolomites with you. We went to Pakistan with you. And Jim, do you remember for our 500th episode, that group of people that came and actually rode in the rain with
yes,
you?
yes.
Yeah, Puppy
that's
was
cool.
one of those.
Yeah, Tenere, super fun bike.
Hey,
Cool.
thanks for reaching out. I'm not going to be in Ireland. I am going to be in England. And so I will be getting in to London, picking up bikes, and then going straight up to Isle of Man, where I'll be for a few days, and then going to be touring around Wales and England for another week after that.
International woman of mystery.
Yeah,
But
but
you could
motorcycle.
always take a day to get on the ferry and go for a visit.
no, I'm going to be traveling with a group. But of course, you take your own to the Ace Cafe and to the Triumph Factory and the National Motorcycle Museum and all these places. I love it. Like Huggy's Speed Shop.
Maybe catch some speedway
When I
racing.
discovered that,
Huggy. Was that on
Huggy's
Starsky
Speed
and
Shop.
Hutch?
No,
Huggy?
it's a little
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
it's like this dude's
Huggy Bear.
Huggy Bear.
private museum / where all the old guys come to hang out on the weekends, and he's got every race artifact that he's ever come across, and everything's just kind of dusty and just crammed in, and you're trying to just squeeze through things. It's like one of those places, but it has such history. The type of place that has things that bikes that aren't really worth a lot, but proudly displayed because
Sounds like
they're
Raver's
cool.
Parts
Just
Mart.
because they're cool,
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, Puppy, enjoy Ireland. I've never been, but I'm hoping to go out. My friend Aaron is working for Lemon Rock Tours, and they're going to be coming to our rally.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, promoting Lemon Rock Tours there. That's the tour group that Neil went with.
So, has Matt shared how the sales for our rally are going?
I think we're about halfway sold out.
Oh, come on, people. Pull your finger out. I mean, if you sign up for the rally, I will personally make you a burrito for breakfast.
Have you signed up for the rally yet, Emma?
I don't have to, I don't think, do I?
We all have to sign up for the rally.
Oh. But anyway, I'm going to be giving prizes out, valuable prizes.
And we're going to have Brother Bear, the caterers, again.
Yeah, they're great.
Well, I'm
Oh,
ready for the masseuse.
And once
Yeah.
again, I will be leading a street ride. So there's going to be street ride, dirt ride, masseuse, Brother Bear barbecue, Emma's breakfast burrito with extra cheese,
General shenanigans.
Yeah.
all the things, and happy endings.
There might be
apparently.
there might be a gimp
Self-serve.
mask. I mean,
Oh, some gimp mask racing. That could be.
we'll see. And then Emma, are we going to one show?
I think so.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So go to motorcyclesandmisfits.com. I've kind of updated a lot of the events. You can see where we're going. You can find the link to the rally and all the other stuff. Bagel, are you raising your hand?
Oh, no.
Oh, no, sorry. But yeah, you can also see the t-shirts, everything you need to know. You'll find at motorcyclesandmisfits
Yes.
at gmail.com. And, I always say, thanks to our listeners, and especially thanks to our Patreon. But this is the time of year I get to say, Patreon subscribers, you're welcome for getting a free t-shirt.
Hey, can I give you a bunch of stickers you can throw in?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. It won't be shipping until April, but thanks to everyone for listening, and happy Valentine's Day. On that note, I think we're ready to get out of here. Thanks, everyone. This is Liza.
Stumpy John.
Emma, darling.
Make a Jim, son.
Bagel.
And we are out of here.
Cool.